Now, this latest material, how does it happen? And I'm sure you've been on the receiving end of this kind of information, but how does it happen that you get a leak from the White House? It seems very dangerous. I mean, there can only be so many people in a room when something sensitive is being discussed. And how does it work? Are these...
Yeah, well, it's funny because you're talking about the reports that perhaps some of President Trump's campaign aides during the campaign had communications with the Russians.
Right.
Russian intelligence.
Which sounds like a bad movie from the 80s just to start with.
Yeah, it sounds, it's curious. Like, it's very curious. Like, why would you have that amount of contact with the Russians to begin with, whether or not they were Russian intelligence agents or not? But it's interesting. These leaks likely are from the U.S. intelligence community. You heard President Trump go out there today, and he targeted the leaks. He went after the intelligence community that now serves him about these leaks. You look back, decades, back to the beginnings of journalism, and often it's sourcing or a leak that will lead to, a story, a headline. And unfortunately, this is what I think new administrations face all the time when they're in there, are the leaks, and not only from the intelligence community, but sometimes, as you point out, from inside the White House. What's interesting, though, is that during the campaign season, we often saw Donald Trump as the candidate sort of celebrating WikiLeaks when it was about Hillary Clinton.
Right, yeah.
Beginning rallies that way.
He said he loved WikiLeaks. I saw you play that clip on the news tonight.
And the only reason we would do that is just to point out that there are moments when a particular politician, he's now the president, feels the incoming fire. And during the campaign, during those WikiLeaks, when James Comey talked about the emails in the final 11 days, believe me, Hillary Clinton felt that incoming fire. And I think right now, because of this particular set of leaks and the reporting that's followed, the president and this new team is learning very quickly how to handle this. And
I don't feel like he feels incoming fire. I feel like he's Khaleesi. He just walks through the fire, and he sets more things on fire, and everything burns except for him.
Well, he does. This is interesting.
I mean, it really does seem to be true.
Are you envisioning the thing on the shoulder, too?
Yeah, I'm envisioning him naked on a dragon right now. I don't know why.
Well, the interesting thing is, I do think that President Trump has a significant amount of confidence and a skill set that brought him to the presidency. And you heard him, instead of talking about these particular intelligence leaks, what they led to these reports of possible communications with Russian intelligence, didn't answer questions on that today, but did confirm that they're going to hold a campaign rally on Saturday. And I asked our correspondent tonight, a campaign rally? He said, literally a campaign rally. They're going to begin campaigning for the second term on Saturday.
Well, no, they're not.
I'm not making this up.
Wow.
I'm not making this up.
Do you ever get mad, personally mad, when this stuff happens, when they say the journalists are fake, it's fake news, these guys are making this up, whether personally or on behalf of your colleagues?
I don't. And here's why. I think if you underestimate the audience, you do so at your own peril. I think Americans, particularly in this moment, are a lot smarter than people give them credit for. They're a lot more engaged than they were before the election. And if you were troubled by the election or if you feel buoyed by the election, either way, whatever end of the spectrum you're on, people are definitely more engaged than they have been in many, many years. And I keep focusing on that. That is a tremendous byproduct of what was a terribly bruising campaign.
We have not been this engaged since the Civil War.
Were you? I didn't know if you wanted me to second source that. I wasn't here.
I don't mean the one with Captain America. I mean the first one. Well, it's very good to see you. What are you doing here in L.A.? Why did you come out?
I just figured after all of this election stuff, I had to figure out what's going on in pop culture. I don't even know who's hosting the Oscars.
Oh, I am. Yeah.
I can't wait.
Unless there's a change.
Listen, who has the bigger high wire? I'm not sure. I doubt very much politics will come up at the Oscars. I'm sure you're not expecting that.
That group doesn't want to talk about that kind of stuff.
Anyway, you'll be awesome.
Celebrities hate talking about that sort of thing. Well, thank you, David. David Muir, everybody. World News Tonight. Rick over here, weeknights here on ABC. Hi, I'm Jimmy Kimmel. If you enjoyed the video, hit subscribe. And if you don't click subscribe, this invisible hamster will die.